Fantastic. Hello and welcome. This is going to be a really great lesson. If you are here, tell me that you're here because I'm telling you, we are going to do some fun things. We're going to make this really interactive. So if you have been feeling like you're not where you want to be right now with your nutraMetrix business, this might be the webinar. This might be the training that's going to get you there. And as always, I try to make this bright, brief, and be gone. Good morning, Lynn. Thanks for interacting with me. And so I hope that we wrap this up somewhere around 20-25 minutes, but let's see how this goes. You guys want the badge, right? You want that certified nutraMetrix consultant badge. Do you guys know what it means to be a certified nutraMetrix consultant? Yes, you can go through our 2-day certification course. You can go to a 101, 201 and get temporary NC status. But how are you actually certified? There is a form that you do need to fill out. It's on downloads. And that means you need 2 accounts that you personally open that write you reviews. But what do you do when you're like, I don't have any, or I have one, but they're dragging their feet? You know, what do you do there? Let me talk to you a little bit about this. So we decided that since we've all been hanging out at home, this was a really good time for us to potty train Brody. Seemed like a good idea, right? I still think it was a really good idea to do that. And so they talk a lot about, I read the books, I got the blogs. I know this was number 2, but this was my first boy. And they always say it's not until they're ready, right? You know, but how do you know when someone's ready? How did I know? How did I know Brody was going to be ready to be potty trained? Well, sure, there's lots of signs. There's lots of signals that they give you. You know, going to the bathroom in the corner or taking an interest in it or talking about it, you know, and how do you know when they're not ready? Because there is that moment, because I remember doing this with my daughter where we tried to potty train her. She wasn't quite ready. So she regressed, right? Isn't that what they say? And then we had to go back and do it again. You know, and how much of it is just the coaching? And it did. I think it went well because I think that my husband and I are really good coaches. You know, we were like, good job, buddy. You got this. We had a goal in mind, you know, and so when we hit the goal, we got the reward. And so, you know, that's what we're going to go over today. Those signs of readiness for someone to partner. We're going to talk about what you can do and, you know, how to, you know, just say, it's not quite the right time versus you being the coach, you being the consultant, and you getting them started. So today, I really want you to understand by the end of this training, the difference between a health professional just pushing you off and a health professional just not being ready. And when you see those signs, so I want to show you, you know, those signs that mean it's ready, they're ready to actually go ahead and open the account, and you know what you need to do to guide them to open that account. What are those words that you need to say? What are the words you're hearing from them, and what are the words you need to say to make the magic happen? And then have them go ahead and open up that nutraMetrix account with the right people at the right time. This is really important. So what have we done though up into this point? Because we've done a lot of review. You really have to have a foundational knowledge of how to do the discovery meeting. So I hope you've done that already with us. I assume you have if you're on this webinar or you're here, but if you're finding this on YouTube or whatever, make sure you go back and do that discovery meeting. That's really important. And in the discovery meeting, it's really important that we understand that, you know, there's questions that we ask. We ask questions about goals. We ask questions about revenue. We ask questions about staff. We ask questions about their patients. Then we have the proposal. And the proposal is where we take those goals and we translate them into the potential of the sales of nutraMetrix products and services. So we've gone over the discovery meeting, we've gone over the proposal, and you also understand implementation. Implementation includes our staff 1, 2, 3 training. We've gone over those. Implementation includes a review of the back office, a review of how to place orders. There's an HP implementation guide. There's also checklists in your practice planning guide. And so that's a lot of different meetings, and you just go through Whether you have 15 minutes or an hour, you know, you fit in as much as you can to bring the staff up to speed. Somewhere though in the mix between the proposal and implementation, that's where they're going to say, okay, I am ready to go ahead and establish an account with nutraMetrix. There's no one place that it happens. It's somewhere in there. And I think that's maybe where you guys get a little bit tripped up, and that it is a little bit fluid. It's a little bit of a gray zone as to when that happens. It's a bit of an art, somewhat of magic, tiny bit of luck. But I'm telling you, I'm going to give you the skills so you can recognize when that's occurring and when it's time to move forward. Let's just review too how to end a proposal. So when you end a proposal, you're going to end with them saying, you know, you're going to look at them and say, do you realize how, you know, this profit projection that I showed you, let's say it's $2,000 a month. Do you see how this profit projection that I showed you could add to that goal that you have of bringing on, you know, another part-time medical assistant? Let's just say that. You know, you told me that was going to take about $2,000 a month. Do you see how this could help in that? You know, at the end of implementation training, you're going to say, do you see how simple this could be? That we're not, you know, making this a whole big deal. And these simple steps in your office, just adding in a couple simple tasks to what you're already doing and flowing through the office could, you know, make that proposal come to life and fulfill the goal you have of bringing in a part-time medical assistant at about $2,000 a month. So you're going to always tie that back to the goal. The one thing I want to remind you of is that it's really important to get the practitioner on product. And that's something that, you know, I remember when I was a brand new baby nutraMetrix consultant. And the way I was taught is we went in with a 90-day bottle of OPC3 and a 90-serving bottle of ORAP, and we sold the set right there. And every time we tried to sell the set. Well, now we have, you know, some different products that are maybe some fan favorites. I really love Daily Essentials. I love any of our bundle kits. There's a lot of products that practitioners, you know, things that were a little bit on the fringe that are now more mainstream. Vitamin D, for instance. A lot of practitioners are, you know, looking for that anyways. You know, so it's very simple to translate that and transfer it over. It's a lot easier than explaining oligomera proanthocyanidins to someone and convincing them to take it every single day. You know, here I'm like, what are you taking? Let's switch it over. So I'm going to remind you that that's something that in the beginning, a lot of our veteran nutraMetrix consultants, let's go back to basics. Now, Dennis Franks talks about this. It's about building customer share. Start someone as a customer, always start them as a customer. Get their email address, register them as a customer in your own franchise, sell them a product. You might cover the, you know, shipping and the tax maybe as a courtesy, especially if you're right there in the office. Yeah, maybe I'll give them a 10% professional discount and still charge them shipping and tax. It kind of evens out one way or another. And so you're going to do that because if you can then be a good customer manager and show success, hey, you'll either get a customer, maybe then they'll buy more product from you, even if they don't open up an account. But if you don't sell product and you're just pitching the business, you're going to end up with nothing. So that's a really important thing that I don't want you to miss. I don't want you to miss that part. All right, let's do this for a second. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to see if I can figure out how to do this, how to get you guys in the chat and share my screen and do this live interactive piece. So I get 10 people on Zoom here with me, and you guys are the ones that I want to hear from right now. So I hope you guys on Zoom can play along. Otherwise, this isn't going to be that much fun. So let's do this together. All right, I have a Word document that I am opening up, and I'm going to write down what you have in the chat if I can figure out how to do this. All right, I got this. All right, Lynn, I already know you have done the chat here. So I want you guys to help me, and I'll put this into 2 columns afterwards. But what are some things that you hear? So things you hear that mean a an HP is not ready? What are some things you hear from some HPs? I'll tell you one. I'll get you guys started by what I mean. And I hope you guys help me out here in the chat. Please don't make me do this alone. Someone called me yesterday and said that an HP said to her, how long is, oops, I'm writing in the wrong spot here. How long is implementation going to take? What else do you guys hear? Give me a call back. Yep, that's a, yep. Yep, give me a call back. What else maybe means that they're not ready? Take a sip of water. Can't just be Lynn on this call. I know that there's a few more of you. If I have an answer from each of you, that'll mean that I have at least 10, which will be good. I'm so busy with everything else. Yep. Just too busy. Oh, I need to ask my partner. Yep. Office manager, we hear spouse. COVID. We'll just talk about like crisis. Sometimes we hear the holidays as an excuse, right? Yeah. Can we schedule when my gene snip comes back? Mary Ann, girl, we got to talk about that. We gotta get them product of the product is something that they can start a little bit faster. Sure. How about just like, I want to try the products first. That's a little bit better. Why can't I send them to Walgreens? My patients are happy buying from Walgreens, Walmart, etc. Have to review financials for my business. Yeah, no, Marianne. Oh, don't give samples. This isn't about samples. This is about selling products. So we're not pharmaceutical reps. So we can give taste tests. That's totally fine. I'm all about taste tests. But I think there's definitely a difference between sampling and selling. And this isn't trial size marketing. Trial size marketing, if you go back to what Phil Guido says, trial size marketing is, there's a marketing push with my company. I hope you can help me out. I'm allowed to give out 10 samples. That's a very different thing when we're talking outside of nutraMetrix. With nutraMetrix, and I want everyone to hear me on this one, and I speak about this, and I'm not calling you up, Marianne, because I find that, you know, since trial size marketing, I love that it's exploding, but we confused it a little bit in nutraMetrix where we just gave some samples, and I never want anyone to confuse me as a pharmaceutical rep. And so I always sell products. In the office, I will pour you from, you know, a bottle or take a packet, give you something to try. Right there in the office is my favorite way. I understand now we're spending time 6 feet apart. So I might mail them something, call up, did you taste it? Typically I would have poured that for you. Then I'm selling a product, Super important. How about this? What are some things you hear that mean an HP is ready? Oh, I'm going to add this. Jin May has, I'm interested. I have other opportunities I'm evaluating. Now you guys are gonna like see firsthand how bad of a speller I am. Okay. What are some things that mean that they are ready? Let me think of something that I just heard. What's next? Yeah, no, I know. What's next? I love the product. I need more product for my patients. I've had practitioners that are like, I'm going to buy 5 bottles of something or 5 boxes of something. I'm like, great, you do that. Yeah, they'll like trial run it a little bit with me. I'd rather have them do that. Just too busy. What else? What else do I usually hear? In my opinion, asking, you know, how much it costs to get started means that they're interested. That's a buying sign. That's kind of like what's next for me. Let's see if we can at least think of 3 more together of things that they say. That means that they're ready. I'm feeling great. Energy, yep. Carmen, that is a great one when they love the products like that. Come on, can we get 2 more? Oh, I had someone the other day and they said, show me what's included in the Fast Start Kit. That's a good buying sign. What's another one? One more thing that shows that they're ready. We can also go back to Facebook. I think I'm going to kind of post these, take a screenshot. I have more time to focus on this. Sweet. All right, awesome. How soon can we start? Yes, Claudia. That's the best. Can we customize? Now you guys are flowing. Right, asking some questions about products. Fantastic. I need my patients on product. Yep, I need more product for my patients, Renee. Absolutely. Yeah, this is so great, guys. So great. So I'm going to collect what we also have from Facebook. I'll put it together. I'm going to take a big screenshot and put that there. So I think this is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. All right, so let's just check in though, because a lot of people, you know, will relate this process to, you know, something else, a time when, you know, if you get a little bit of apprehension, even if you get those kind of questions where they say like, I'm just too busy, or I want to try products first, or I have other things I'm evaluating, and you want to go back in a week, in 2 weeks, and you want to follow up, and you're like, oh, but I don't want to be pushy. Has anyone ever thought of that? Has anyone ever thought in their head, I don't want to be pushy? Has anyone ever been worried about being pushy? Because I hear this from a lot of NCs. They say, I don't want to be pushy, Sarah, but yeah, Renee, you're saying yes. So let's think, you know, of a time when you've been pushed. Let's think about this. You know, I can say that there was, you know, I worry with my kids. You know, I right now I'm deciding, because everything's coming out for the town for my kids and what sports they're going to play in this fall and what I'm going to sign them up for. And I'm thinking, do I just do the things I've always done, like, you know, dance and gymnastics, or, you know, should I sign Ella up for soccer? You know, and I think about times when, you know, I was just signed up for things as a kid and I just felt like I was pushed into it. Anyone have that happen? And like, you didn't even have a voice. You didn't have a say. You don't even know how you got there. And it was like, that's what you're going to do. How about a time, like, have you guys ever bought anything? I had a friend of mine, she just bought a car and she was posting all about this car brand and said, never buy this brand of car because they bought it and I've already had to have service on it 3 or 4 times, brand new car. You know, has that ever happened to you guys? And you felt like the salesperson was giving you a good deal and then what you bought wasn't so great? Or have you ever felt stuck in something? Like my mom inherited timeshare from my grandfather. And do you know how hard it is to get out of a timeshare package? You know, and it sounds like a good deal. And it sounds like something that maybe could be passed on. I don't know. Maybe it's just this timeshare. I don't want to talk ill about all timeshares, but, you know, she feels really stuck. I don't think my mom's ever going to sit for a timeshare presentation. I know I'm never going to sit for a timeshare presentation because I see how much heartache and frustration this is causing my mom. And so we're feeling like if we're coaching someone into starting something new, opening up their account with nutraMetrix, you know, we might relate that to a time when we felt pushed into something. That's not what this is, guys. This is, you know, it's a low cost, very low. Don't forget, there's lots of products that people can retail. So what is it truly to get started? Truly to get started, $159.95, $160. We're not talking about, you know, signing your life away with a timeshare. We're not talking about getting into a $30,000 loan with a new car. We're talking about $160, $22 a month, $21.95. And you can opt out of it any time. We don't make this hard for you to stop working with nutraMetrix. If you did it right from the discovery to the proposal to implementation, if you got them on products, they like the products, that this is going to be something that's going to anchor with their goals. You will know when it's right for them or when it's not right for them. If they have a goal where they say, listen, Sarah, if I don't make today $15,000 a month right out the gate, this program isn't going to work for me. And you're like, this program isn't going to work for you. I don't have a way to show someone how on day one they're going to make $15,000 a month. Not what our program is. It's a couple patients every week, a couple patients every week. You know, if someone says to me, you know, I'm not willing to talk to patients, I'll put it up. And if they ask about it, you know, then the product will move, but I'm not willing to talk about it. This isn't the program for them. So it's a two-way street. You have to get buy-in at every step of the way. And it has to be a mutual arrangement, a mutual agreement. We're not paid on signups. You know, so this isn't a sign-up game. This is volume. You want to work with someone that's working with you. I've walked away from many accounts. Just know too, the professional salespeople, people that get paid, you know, a salary, a livable wage salary. I was a professional salesperson, you know, for years, for about 10 years. I had companies that paid me to go out and sell, and then I got commissions on top of it. And I got professionally trained, and I still close about 1 out of 4. All right. So if you feel like you've had 3 talks with people and people aren't ready to move forward, you still haven't had 4, and you're not a professional salesperson. You're doing this part-time of part-time. So just understand you will know when it's not a fit. So let me teach you some things that I want you to remember about when an account is actually ready. Because I think that the issue is not what happens when they don't seem ready. I think the issue more is that you don't know how to go ahead and see that, you know, that they are ready. And so have they bought product? I think that's really important. I would never buy a Dunkin' Donuts franchise or any franchise if I haven't tried the product first. I'm going to buy a cup of coffee, eat a donut, a low glycemic one, of course. No, but I'm going to do that. I'm going to get their 5 to 10 year goals and vision. I'm going to get their financials. How much money do you want to make? And if that doesn't happen at the discovery meeting because I haven't built rapport yet, you have time to do this during the proposal. Don't be afraid to go back, redo some of these meetings again. You know, if you feel like you didn't really get that clear in the discovery meeting and you're already 3 meetings in, do it again. Figure out where they're at, figure out their numbers, go through the proposal again. That's totally okay to do that. Make sure you anchor those proposal numbers back to their goals with their discovery meeting. This is going to be really important. You're going to have to kind of sit with this. I think this is going to really even help your unfranchised business when you're working with just, you know, regular UFOs to start a Market America business, because you're going to figure out and sort through people to know just as much, you know, when it is a fit as it isn't a fit. I make it real simple from the beginning. I have to tell you, at the end of proposals, I also give them account paperwork. I give them whether, you know, whichever one's applicable, either the HP one or the HP executive application and agreement. I print out 2 copies, one for them and one for me, 2 copies of the UFMS agreement, one for them and one for me. I tell them whenever you're ready, I highlight everything they need to fill out, where they need to sign, And I'm like, whenever you're ready, you can take a picture and text it to me. You can scan it to me. You can leave it for me. I'll come by and pick it up. I used to have a fax number. I no longer have a fax line. And I do that at the end of the proposal. I bring them again for the end of the implementation meeting. If it gets to an implementation meeting, I just make it real simple. And I make sure they have a copy because I need them to see the terms and agreements. So I don't make it this big hubbubaloo. They can see it all. We'll talk about getting started. If it makes sense, I'll send them a fast start kit, what's in there, so they can see that. Discovery meeting, proposal, implementation, and I just keep meeting. And if I don't feel like I've checked out all those boxes in the discovery meeting, I didn't go through everything, I didn't have time in the proposal, I'm gonna keep going back because the foundation is really huge. I sell them product. I try at the end of the proposal. If it doesn't happen there, I try again at the end of implementation. All right. I think this is where we're having a lot of misconceptions. I think you're either forgetting to, or not solid getting their goals. One of you, either yourself or the health professional, is uncomfortable talking about money. Maybe that's okay in the discovery meeting if you don't really know each other that well. But by the time it comes to the proposal, we're talking about financials here. That's what you guys do. We've got to connect those financials to those goals. So, I want you guys to practice this. What I really want you to do is I want you to, practice just telling people, first of all, please go and find where to download all these applications. Don't wait until, I'll find those when it's time to open an account. Go find those now. And the other thing I want you to do is let's just take a minute and help me out here in the chat. Let's think about 5 people, and I want you, if you're on Facebook, I'm gonna get a pen, and I'm gonna write this down too. Think of 5 people that we've talked to as health professionals in the past, can we say 6 months, that we could go back to, that we could pull out their discovery meetings, we can pull out their proposals, we can go back and revisit with them. We can think about what they said at the end, and you can see if maybe you were hearing that they were ready and they just were a little confused. You were giving them too many options as terms of the next steps. I'm going to go back to Andy. Andy's at the PT. Actually, I have a list right here. I'm cheating a little bit. How about you guys? Stick it in the chat. You're 5 people. Oh. I got Amy. I got to check in with Dr. K. Oh, Charlotte, your dentist. I should talk to my dentist too. That's smart. I am also going to go, thought I had one right here. I'm going to talk to, I got Gina too. Perfect. All right, I got my list of 5 here. Oh, your partner's husband, who's a dentist. Amazing. Good. So put those in the chat and let's follow up. So we're going to make sure that we, we do this together, that we talk about, what people are saying together. We can talk about what this really means. We can talk about next steps. I don't see enough people in the nutraMetrix Facebook group posting what they're hearing. So it's really hard for us to decipher, is this an objection? Is that what it is? Or is it just you need a little help with the coaching to get them to the next step? Oh, your OBGYN whose nurse was interested in weight loss. Charlotte, that's amazing. I want to hear about that. I really do. I want you guys in the group to tell us where this goes. Tell us how we're going. Any last questions before we hang up here? Anything else you guys feel like is a burning question that you need to know? I would love to, otherwise shoot a little video, shoot a video about your epiphany that you had from here, make a declaration of the practitioners you're going to follow up with, and post that video in the NC group, please. Carmen, love seeing that list. These are just little check-ins. We want to help you. We can't help you really get to the next step if you don't communicate with us. So communication is going to be so important for you to do that with us. I'm so proud of you for showing up today. I'm proud of you for participating. Even if you're here on a replay, you know, you're here, you're doing the work, you're making it happen. And I hope this segment was really helpful for you. So we're going to go and we're going to follow up with you on Facebook. Hope everyone has an awesome, awesome day and make those follow-up calls. I'll see you guys soon.